Jace Thomas, I have got Emmy-winning TV host Cameron Mathison, and he's going to talk about the new trivia show that's on the Game Show Network's Beat the Bridge. Good morning, Cameron. How are you?
Hey, good morning, James. Yeah, man, I'm super excited about this. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you for joining us. I got a chance to look at this man, but I'm not going to talk about it. You talk about it and tell us what it's all about.
Well, I hope you loved it. It's such an easy show to love. Okay, everybody. So here's the deal. It's called Beat the Bridge, and it involves this huge interactive bridge, right? So the bridge is almost like a character in the show. The bridge is throwing trivia at this team. So you got a team of 3 people. Individually, they're trying to make these crossings. Every time they step on a right answer on the surface of this bridge and avoid a wrong answer, they're banking more money. Every successful crossing, they get a little bonus, and they're kind of building that bank account up as they go. And it all comes down to a timed round at the end where they try to make it back across the bridge, stepping on the right answers, avoiding the wrong answers. They do that. They get a huge bonus. They win up to $15,000. The surface of this huge bridge is the game board. This is the game screen that we're used to seeing behind people normally, but this is the game screen, and they're like almost players. They're like almost game pieces in this game as they're making their way across. And I think it adds an extra element of excitement, the fact that they're physically in it. They're not just kind of like verbally in it. They're physically moving their way through this game.
Wow, man. And I saw that too a little bit. I was watching the girls, especially the one who knew about the sports teams. That was interesting. That was very interesting. So let's talk a little bit about your background. You know, you've been on General Hospital, right?
Yep, I've been on General Hospital now for about 3 years. And then I've done a lot of different gigs. I've done a lot of the Christmas movies that you might see on TV through the years, like about maybe over 25 of those on different channels right now on Great American Family, which is awesome. And All My Children for 14 years. And, I bounced around, James. Entertainment Tonight, Good Morning America. I've been very, very lucky through my career.
You know, speaking of your career, how did you actually get started in all this?
Oh, it's a bizarre kind of story, but I graduated from civil engineering in college, structural engineering, and I couldn't get a summer job, and one of them, a friend at a bar, said you should go talk to this modeling agency, and I was like, I mean, all right, sure, I'll go check it out, and then that led to doing some commercials, and then commercials led to acting classes, and then I started booking jobs. This was up in Canada. And then I went to see some friends in New York for a weekend, and I decided to kind of write the trip off and see an acting agent in New York. And they sent me to go see the casting director at All My Children. I was like, oh, sure, all right. I'm not moving to New York, but sure, whatever. And she put me on tape, and the tape went to the producers, and the producers offered me a screen test. And I booked that show, and it changed my life.
Wow. So how did you get involved with Beat the Bridge? How did they approach you?
Well, I met with Game Show Network. So hosting a game show is something that I wanted to do for a very, very long time. I always felt like it was a perfect fit for me and my enthusiasm, my natural kind of like energy. And I met with Shelly Sang over there. Well, it was probably 6, 7 years ago in a general meeting, and we just really hit it off, and we stayed in touch. And then Jay James over there brought me in for something a couple years ago. It didn't work out. But that's how they work. They just try to fit their talent and the specific kind of natural tendencies of their talent with the specifics of certain shows. And I really feel like they nailed it, and they got me at Beat the Bridge. It's a perfect show for me as far as the fact that there's just one team here versus like team pitted against each other, where you got to stay a little bit more neutral and just kind of guide them along. I get to be like all in with this team, encourage and cheerlead and be positive and be on their side. And they're playing kind of against the bridge. So for me, it's just a lot of fun. Like every team that comes through is another family for me that I get to be part of. You know what I mean? Like, and I for that drove me through these long days of filming. The energy and the connectedness. I love to learn about these contestants. I love to know their backgrounds. Love to know what their interests are, and then we just get to know each other. And then I'm invested. I'm invested every show, every team.
Oh man, this week with Cameron Mathison, Emmy-winning TV host, about the new trivia show, Game Show Network's Beat the Bridge. And I kind of compared to, and I'm going way back, the first thing I thought about was Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark and that opening scene where you got to step to get to the golden idol to get the prize.
I love that. I love that analogy. That is like amazing. That's incredible. That means I'm kind of like Indiana Jones. Or no, maybe they are because they're the ones stepping.
Right.
I'd be like, I don't know. But it doesn't matter because I love it.
Cameron, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend.
All right. Thanks for having me. Thanks.